how to finish books that you start, and why also you should never finish some books that you start. Now, I know putting these two topics aside sounds very controversial. I know, that's why I want to share it with you. Now, I was watching one guy one day. I learned this from someone. I'm not going to mention his name. All right. Well, I learned it from him after reading some of his books, and I went to his YouTube channel, and I learned this principle. Now, the reason why you start books and you never finish them is this. It's not because you are lazy. It's not because you are unmotivated. It's not because you are uninspired. It's none of those things. All right. It's just that you have a mental pattern in your head. You have a thinking pattern in your head that once you get the reward, the perceived reward from a book, you will stop reading it. Let me explain. Now, let's imagine there is this book that is very popular among your friends, and you want to get it, or by this popular author that has a series. Once you get that book, you buy the book, right? You're like, I want to read this book so I can tell my friends that I've gotten the book. Make you buy that book and show it to your friends. You get what we call a dopamine release in your brain. All right. And once you get that dopamine, because you said, like, wow, guy, I don't know you have this book. Please, I want to borrow it. I want to read this stuff. Like, you start feeling good that I have this book. So you start feeling good that you have the book, even more than reading the book. So the pleasure, the dopamine that is released from that experience is now greater than the pleasure, the dopamine you're going to get from actually finishing the book. That's why you stop reading the book. So this is how to correct it. What you need to do is this. Whenever you start reading a book, never over celebrate that you've gotten the book. Never overshare your experiences from the book until you are done with the book. Be careful of peer pressure in reading books. There are some books that you should have never bought. There are some books you should have never read because you saw someone reading it as your friend. You wanted to read because you wanted to prove to that person. You wanted to please that person. There are some books that even your mentors will recommend to you that you are not supposed to read. Yes. It takes a high level of understanding and knowledge to understand what I'm saying. But my main thing is this: don't read books to please someone or to feel good. Of course, you will feel good and you might actually please or impact people when you finish reading that book. But your main goal is that I am not going to celebrate yet until I am done with this book. So you are holding the dopamine, and the dopamine, that is the chemical in your brain. We call it the feel good chemical. You can go and Google search it, dopamine. Get the spelling online and research more about it. This is not a video on dopamine. But when you hold that dopamine for a very, 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 just like when you hold a rubber band and you pull and you pull and you pull, the stronger you pull to the back, just like an arrow, when you release it, it's going to be powerful. Imagine when I start and I pull the arrow like this and I release. Somebody else pulls like this and release. Somebody else pulls like this and release. What do you think is going to happen? The impacts are different. So when you're reading a book, hold your arrow back. Don't release your arrow until you are done. Don't release that. Don't release it. Don't fall into the temptation. Don't do it. Once you can do this, every other thing that I'm going to teach in this series are secondary. That is getting an accountability part, like I shared in the previous video, joining a community, rewarding yourself. Those things are secondary. But if you don't deal with your brain, the mental pattern you have in your head concerning books, you will pick a book, page 20, you stop. Another book, page 30, you stop. You are better than that. Tell yourself, I'm better than that. And you must change the identity that you have in your head. There's people that they now believe that I can't finish books. I don't like reading books. I'm not sure I'll finish it. The more you say those things, they may sound like a joke to you, but you are unconsciously imprinting those thinking patterns, those actions in your subconscious mind. And indirectly or directly, you are never going to be able to finish a book because you said it. You are the creator of your own reality. If you don't know, the reality you find yourself in right now, you are the creator. Yes. Now, that's why when God created man, he said, I give you dominion, I give you control over everything, every living thing. That was why it was Adam that gave the names. It was not God. That's another thing for another day. But I want you to understand something. The reason why you struggle to finish a book is not because of your friends, it's not because of distraction, it's not because of I am a student, it's because of you. You must accept that it's you, and you need to fix you. You fix you by changing the way you think about yourself, changing the way you speak about it. Pick up when you start. When you pick a book and say, for example, I'm picking this book and I say, this is a book. I am going to start this book and I'm going to finish it in this social number of days. Even if now this is very important. For some of us that we love to challenge ourselves, like me, and I'm falling into this trap very well. In fact, it's one of the things I teach. It's a good technique whereby I tell myself I'm going to read this book in 3 days. Now there are times whereby life will happen and I'll not be able to finish it. Now, because I've told myself that I was going to finish it, because I broke that promise, I'm going to feel guilty and feel bad. I'll not be able to finish the book again. You must not fall into that trap. Don't fall into that trap. All right. You must be how do I put it? Love yourself. Forgive yourself. Right now, I want you to pause this video and tell yourself, I forgive myself of every book that I've ever started and I've never finished. I forgive myself of buying those wrong books. I forgive myself for buying those books just because I wanted to post it on Instagram. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for not having an accountability partner. I forgive myself for not being active in the Food Mongers Club. Yes, you are in the Food Mongers Club now and you are not active. You are not reading books. You are not connected. You are not asking me questions. Forgive yourself. Once you can do these things, you have a new identity of who you are. When you wake up in the morning, even if you're not reading books, tell yourself, I am someone that reads 2 to 4 books every month. Say that. The more you say that and becomes firm, you must assume that you are already the person you want to become, the reader you want to become, and you will become that person. Do you understand this? Once you do this, then you'll be able to start books and finish them. Now, to the last point, which is there are some books that you start and you don't need to finish. Now, when I'm reading a book, it's because I want to get an idea. I want to get a certain solution from that book. And there are some authors that they normally repeat. They do repetition. What they did in chapter 1, they're going to repeat chapter 3, they're going to repeat chapter 4, chapter 5. That's a waste of my time. Once I've gotten the idea, and that's why when you read books, you must read books with a notepad, with a journal, about everything you are reading. You know the funny thing? Let me tell you one crazy part. You see this book now. This book, Think Like a Champion by not by Donald Trump. Yeah, but I say by Donald Trump. This book, I'm going to read this book finish. But the funny thing is this: maybe the ideas that I need for my own life personally, all right, not for you, might be on page 65, 85, and 6 other pages out of the entire book. What does that mean? That means what the author could have just done is this: those points could have just been on 5 pages. But let me tell you why they do this. Why they repeat things. For a book to be published, it has to meet a certain requirement of pages. I'm giving you an industry secret about the book publishing industry. It has to meet a certain number of pages. So because maybe what you want to share, it only need 20 pages. But because they want to mean that they will keep repeating things, they're looking for BB grammar to repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. That's why. So that when you start a book and you've gotten everything you need from that book, that's why sometimes I use this is something I'm going to be sharing in another series, how to access knowledge from 100 books in a year without reading all the books. You understand what I'm saying there? I'm not going to say it now because I don't want to give you a spoiler. But when you do those things, all right, when you start a book, you've gotten the idea you need, stop reading the book. Or whenever you start reading a book and what they are saying that does not make sense to you, or it's for example, let's say I'm reading a book on peace. And what I've learned about peace, that is inner peace, from right now, from what I know before, has helped me. And I picked another book on the same topic, and that person, its knowledge was giving me conflict. Even for some days after reading the book, I stopped having inner peace. I will stop reading that book. Now, because you stop reading the book does not mean the book is not good. And that was one mistake you must not do. Don't be telling people that this book is good, this book is not good. Don't say that. There's nothing like this book is good, this book is not good. It is you that determines whether the book is good or not. Yes. If you go to Amazon and you search for books on self-development, you're going to see over 200 books. But it's not all the books that are for you. Another thing I advise is that you can look for YouTube channels, you just say YouTube channels of people that recommend books that have helped them. Not people that just say, we are going to read this book now. People that they read the book and the book changed their life and they had a life lesson, a wisdom. Go and read those kind of books to help you. Sometimes you might not even need to read a book, you might just need to read the book summary and you get it. But am I saying that don't finish books? No. Don't forget where we are coming from. What I'm saying is that when you start a book, finish it. You must have the finisher anointing. You can start something and finish it, but it's not everything you start that you must finish. I only finish things that make sense, that are working for me. If it's not making sense, it's not working again. If it's unreasonable, it is repetitive. If it is repulsive, it is old, it's not new. Stop reading it. Move on to the next book and save your time. All right. I'm a Joe Shadi company, and I hope you become a food monger from applying the secrets. Thank you.